This happened a few months ago. I was on an early morning flight, just trying to mind my own business, when a man asked me to switch seats. And let me tell you, this did not go the way you'd expect. I always take early flights. It's quiet, the airport isn't crowded, and everything moves smoothly. I got up at 4 a.m. for this one, boarded the plane, took my window seat, put in an AirPod, closed my eyes, and got ready to sleep through the whole flight. That was the plan. But this flight had other ideas. Just as I was about to drift off, someone woke me up. I opened my eyes, confused. I didn't know anyone on this flight. A grown man was standing next to me. "Hey, do you mind switching seats with me?" At first, I thought he wanted the window seat. I usually take the aisle because I'm tall, but this was the only seat available when I booked. So I asked, "Oh, do you have an aisle seat?" He shook his head. "No, I'm actually sitting way up in row 12. You'd be closer to the front when we land." Then he added, "I just want to sit back here with my kids." We couldn't get seats together. But here's the weird part. There were no kids sitting next to him. So I asked, "Where are your kids?" Suddenly, his attitude changed. His face tensed up. "Why do you care? Do you want to switch or not?" It was too early for this kind of energy. And if his kids were young, they would have been seated with him already. The whole situation felt off. So I said, "I think I'll just stay in my seat." Now he was irritated. "Are you serious? You're really not going to switch with me?" "Yeah, I'd rather just stay where I am." He muttered something under his breath and stomped off. A few minutes later, two people sat down next to me, a young man and a young woman, probably in their 20s. And guess what? They were his kids, his grown kids. Now, the situation made even less sense. Just as I was about to relax, he came back. He stood there, talking to them, but loud enough for me to hear. "Yeah, I tried switching with the guy next to you, but I guess he just wants to be rude." I took my AirPod out. "Sir, I just didn't want to switch. I paid for this seat. I just want to sit here and be left alone." His kids looked exhausted. "Dad, it's fine. It's a short flight." But he kept pushing. If it's such a short flight, I don't see why he cares so much about not switching. At this point, I was done. "Sir, I'm not switching seats." That should have been the end of it. But nope. A flight attendant walked by, and suddenly, the man pointed at me and said, "That man is sitting in my seat." "Excuse me?" Even his own son let out a frustrated sigh. The flight attendant turned to me. "Sir, can I see your boarding pass?" I frowned. "Why don't you check his? He's the one making the claim." She turned to him. "Sir, are you sure this is your seat?" And instead of answering, he dodged the question. "I don't know why he won't just switch, ma'am. These are my kids." Luckily, the flight attendant wasn't buying it. "Sir, if he paid for this seat, he is allowed to sit here." Finally, the man stomped off to the front of the plane, where his actual seat was. I thought it was over. But just before takeoff, he came back. He stood over me, yelling. Passengers around us told him to sit down. And then, he shoved a guy who tried to calm him down. And just like that, he was done. Flight attendants rushed over. "Sir, you're being removed from this flight." They escorted him off the plane. His kids, looking angry and embarrassed, got up and left too. And me? I took the now empty aisle seat, the one I actually wanted. So if someone asks you to switch seats on a plane, just say no. You paid for that seat. You deserve to sit in it. Some people don't just want a seat. They want control.